Hi everyone, this is Yana Smakula for SimonsSTM.com. Welcome back for another Yippee for Yana video. Today I have a Happy New Year card to share featuring a lawn horizontal card design inspired by Christina Warner. I made a ton of Christmas cards this year, but zero New Year cards. And yes, they aren't quite as popular, but I thought it would be nice to make at least one. I've been meaning to use the large numbers from the birthday numbers stamp set, and this seemed like the perfect opportunity to do that. I picked numbers 2019 and arranged them along with two messages on the lid of my stamp platform. I also used a sheet of soft blue cardstock. I treated it with an anti-static powder, and now I'm inking up my stamps with clear embossing ink to stamp on the background. The messages read Happy, and this is stamped above the numbers, and Let's Party, stamped below the numbers. I've decided to go with silver embossing powder for a change, and once I had everything covered, I heat set it to melt the powder. My stamping, you probably noticed, wasn't centered, but that wasn't a problem as I knew I would be trimming this panel down later. I wasn't quite sure about the size of the card that I wanted to make, but I knew I wanted it to be different from A2. If you'd like to stick to a standard A2 size card, you can still use these numbers, but just arrange them slightly differently on the card. Next, to fill the background around the 2019, I pulled out some snowflake-like images from the ornamental stamp set by Kathy Zilski and stamped them in several sizes around the 2019. These look more like fireworks and less like snowflakes, so I thought they would go perfectly with the New Year theme of this card. The ornamental stamp set has 3 of those, I think, in different sizes, and that worked perfectly for my card idea. Once again, I coated everything with that silver embossing powder, and this is powder from Hero Arts. Before I heat set it, I stamped a few more images, just some little stars from the Christmas Town stamp set. And any tiny element would do here. You can add little swirls, little dots, anything small to help fill in the space and look a bit like scattered confetti. Again, I covered everything with silver embossing powder and heat set it with my heat tool to melt it. I tried to heat set this panel as few times as possible to have minimum amount of warping, but it still warped a little bit from all the heat. I also did some ink blending around the edges of the panel to darken them up and draw the eye of the recipient to the center where it says 2019. I've been rediscovering ink blending this year and I really love this technique. I used Hero Arts Navy ink, it's the darkest blue in my stash, to add that darkness around the edges. If you regularly watch my videos, you've probably seen me do this quite a few times this year. I trimmed my panel down and then I used a solid layer of fun foam to foam mount it onto my card. Here I have blue foam as I have a ton of colored foam in my stash and I'm trying to use it all up before I go and buy some more. Using a solid layer of fun foam helped flatten the panel and minimize the warping. I used my Tonic Studios shimmer pen to add some sparkle inside the open area of each number, and I also decorated the card using silver jewels from Pretty Pink Posh to spice it up a little bit. This card ended up being 8 1/4 by 4 1/4 inches, with a heat embossed and ink blended panel being just a ½ inch smaller on each side. I'll be hand delivering this card, so I didn't worry about the envelope to mail it in. I hope you'll give this idea a try using these or other stamps from your stash. If you do, remember to share online and tag us on social media. We always love seeing what you guys are making. On the screen, there is a link to a playlist with all of my videos featuring Simon Says stamps. Subscribe now, not to miss any new card making tutorials. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. I'll see you next week.